So first one here, these are not formula that can be found in a formula list. The first few, you should be able to relate them well later on. When you see a power n, let's say you have a fx to the power of n. In order to integrate a term like this, you want to make sure that you create the f prime x. So the derivative of the bracket must be created outside before you start any integration. And when you integrate, this is like your usual. You do power plus 1, so you get n plus 1, divided by the new power plus c. But you must make sure that you create this term, create f prime x. Okay, let me remind you on that. And also, this n can be any number, but just not 1, right? Not minus 1. If it's minus 1, it will be the second case that we will see later on. So n can be any value, can be decimals as well, but not minus 1. So let's observe, when I see a question has a particular power, this 5 is like the n, then we will judge that this term within that power is your fx. You want your fx to be x squared minus 3. You don't need to write this, but you can prepare for what is f prime x. F prime x will be 2x. Make sure you let the one in the bracket be fx. You differentiate, you get 2x. So to start integrating this particular term, let me just copy exactly first. You want to force in the f prime. So in this particular example, I want to place a 2 in front, and you balance outside your equation with a half. Okay, any coefficient you create, you balance outside. Hence, leave the half there. When you integrate, the f prime will not appear as part of the answer. F prime will disappear. Hence, 2x will be completely gone. I will only be left with that x squared minus 3 power plus 1 divided by that new power plus c. So one way to judge this kind of questions for simpler questions is on the degree. If you see that the term inside is degree 2, I expect that f prime outside must be degree 1. F prime always will have 1 degree down if you are doing differentiation. But this is only true for polynomials. Later we will see other types of questions. Now, second example, you may not see it on first glance, but if you observe the powers, you will understand that there are similar things. This is degree 2 at the top. At the bottom, this is a degree 3.